In this instalment of our Dev Diary series, we're taking you to the front lines, deep into the 3 war-torn maps awaiting players at early access launch. In 83, the front lines stretch across a divided Europe as NATO and Warsaw Pact forces clash in a brutal conventional war that risks spiralling into something far worse. Every map in 83 is built not just for gameplay, but from a deeply researched alternate history scenario. So, let's take a look at the first 3 theatres of war you'll be fighting across. If there was ever a point where World War III was expected to start, this was it. In our version of 1983, the Fulda Gap is no longer a theoretical flashpoint. It's the crucible of modern armoured warfare. Soviet forces have launched a massive offensive across this key corridor into West Germany, backed by tanks and artillery. NATO forces scramble to hold the line, pushing back against the relentless Soviet advance. Rolling hills, fortified towns, dense forests, and exposed plains create a dynamic combat space. Expect layered defences, ambushes, and mechanised pushes that change the tide in an instant. Holding key towns and choke points within the gap becomes vital for both factions. Whether you're holding choke points with AT squads or coordinating a multi-pronged counter-offensive with armour and infantry, Fulda is where 83 shows its scale. To the north, the Cold War turns colder. Strategically vital due to its proximity to Soviet naval bases and the Atlantic sea lanes, Norway becomes a critical contested front as the Soviets push to dominate the North Atlantic. Their goal? To control sea lanes, project naval power, and cut off NATO reinforcement routes to Central Europe. In our timeline, they strike hard. NATO battles to lock it down and prevent the Soviets from gaining a vital strategic foothold. This desperate battle for the Norwegian peninsula is all about sea power, with both sides vying to control a critical military facility. 83 depicts the brutal back and forth between the opposing armies as they struggle to capture and hold the harbour. Gameplay here is defined by verticality and harsh terrain. Mounted passes, fortified bunkers set deep into the rock, and coastal facilities offer diverse tactical opportunities and demand flexibility from both attackers and defenders. Hidden deep within the forests near Chernobyl is the massive Duga over-the-horizon missile-detecting radar, known as the Woodpecker. This immense installation is the location of our third map. In 83, it's a key command and control hub, integral to the Soviet early warning network. The iconic radar complex sets the scene for an audacious raid by NATO behind enemy lines. Gameplay here blends open woodland with dense interior fighting around the radar structures, mixing long sightlines with brutal, close-quarter battles. It's a map that favours stealth, surprise, and sabotage, and rewards teams that can coordinate under pressure. Each of these maps captures a different face of warfare in 1983, from the daring raid on the Duga radar to the mechanised chaos of the Fulda Gap and the brutal war for the Norwegian coast. They are more than just battlegrounds. They are fragments of a shattered timeline, a world on the brink of nuclear catastrophe where every decision, every bullet, and every casualty counts. This is not just a game. This is 83.